Welcome everyone to my review of IDW Sonic issue 62. Today is the start of a new story arc featuring characters going on smaller, light-hearted adventures, all while something threatens them from within their ranks. Before I continue, if you're new to the channel and enjoy what you see here, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of this kind of content. Anyway, here's what you need to know going into this issue, and there will be spoilers from this point forward. At the end of the previous issue, Rouge the Bat acquired an Echidna artifact from Eggman's ruined city. Amy caught her with it and volunteered to return it to Knuckles on Angel Island. We also have the villainous businessman Clutch the Possum, who decided to come out of retirement after witnessing a younger group of heroes in action, aka the game characters. And finally, we have the shape-shifting Mimic, former teammate of Whisper the Wolf. He's currently on a mission to hunt down said teammate after making sure his records in the EggNet database were erased. Alright then, let's do this. We begin with Amy approaching Angel Island in her flying pink cabriolet. If you're wondering how said car can fly in the first place, it's Sonic's world. I don't think I need to explain any further. Meta-wise, it's a nod to the game Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. She lands near the Master Emerald, and Knuckles is not there. Amy speculates he's on his daily patrol. She begins her search, and while admiring how beautiful the island is when not under attack, the ground collapses beneath her. She winds up in Hydro City, where she is rescued by Knuckles. How convenient. Actually, I have a theory. Knuckles might have sensed Amy's presence due to her being near the big green rock. As previously established, he and the Master Emerald do have some sort of link. Amy presents him the Echidna statue and explains it was found at, quote, Eggman's latest eyesore. Though she left out Rouge's involvement, probably for the best. Knuckles, grateful for having the artifact back, invites Amy to tag along as he returns it to its proper place. Based on the Keystone's design, he has a pretty good idea where it goes. The two make it to Marble Garden, and Knuckles warns Amy to mine the collapsing ruins. The region is unstable, not helped by Eggman's constant digging. The latest incident happened in Free Comic Book Day 2022. Check out my review of that special for more details. As they're walking, Amy, pointing out how big Knuckles' home is, offers to have Jewel post some trustworthy restoration members on the island to help patrol it. Knuckles declines. The situation's already complicated as is. Plus, Knuckles only trusts a maximum of 6 people, including Amy. This leaves Knuckles open to some playful jabbing by Amy, as she reminded him about thrusting her into becoming the leader of the Resistance without telling her. I say playful because Amy would have done it anyway. She just wanted some more prep time, that's all. Still, Knuckles finally apologizes for that stunt. They arrive at a cave where Knuckles believes the Keystone belongs. Before they go rushing in, Knuckles warns Amy of an active trap guarding another Echidna Keystone statue, which appears to be a variant of the reliefs found throughout Marble Garden. Both of them agree that wrecking the thing guarding the relics would defeat the purpose of this quest. So Amy has an idea and needs Knuckles to trust her on this one. She provides a distraction by swatting away the relief's arrows, while Knuckles quickly inserts the keystone into place. And just like that, the relief shuts down. They're not out of danger yet, as again, the ground collapses beneath them. But they were able to get themselves out no problem. And now, the relics are harder to reach. As they leave, Amy suggests that Knuckles stop by the restoration sometime, letting him know it's all peaceful and organized. But I have a feeling things may go south for the organization. This brings us to the start of the ongoing plot thread that will be present throughout the next few issues. At a place known as Clean Sweep Inc., Clutch the Possum welcomes Mimic, who's disguised himself as one of Clutch's workers. Mimic's curious about Clutch's operation, and Clutch explains that Clean Sweep Inc. is a front. He goes in and collects various machinery Eggman left behind whenever he's defeated. This so-called service is a way for him to gather a whole lot of resources for an upcoming aggressive venture, as he puts it. The only thing that's threatening this venture is the restoration, which does the same thing he's doing, only for free, and they destroy the Eggman equipment. This is why Mimic is here. Clutch wants an inside man to sabotage the restoration's operation. To help sway Mimic into helping him, Clutch brings up the time he was defeated by Tangle and Whisper, and brings up the fact that the two are now part of a new Diamond Cutters. And with that, Mimic's on board. Based on this earlier panel here, I don't think he's a fan of any form of the Diamond Cutters existing. At Restoration HQ, Lanolin is evaluating the success of the team's first mission with Tangle and Whisper. This ultimately culminates in the idea of recruiting more members. Lanolin believes this will give the team new ideas, more skills, and the ability to handle multiple crises at the same time. That's when this fellow walks in, wanting to join the team. Duo, as he's called, is interviewed on the spot. He says all the things that make Tangle, Whisper, and Lanolin interested in him in the first place. He's adventurous, willing to get into danger for the sake of the others, and is all for helping the community. Lanolin asks Duo about his skills, and he says he's nimble, good with computers, but he also says he's a fast learner. After getting the approval of Tangle and Whisper, Lanolin welcomes him as a provisional member. She wants to see him go through some trials before making a proper assessment. In the meantime, Tangle takes Duo to his new room. She then leaves him alone to get comfortable, and we end this issue with the reveal that Duo is Mimic. It's not a surprise really, even though the comic tries to present it that way. For one, Duo and Mimic are both colored purple, so that's a pretty big giveaway. 2, thanks to this issue's previews, especially one of the alternate covers, a lot of people figured this out, myself included. And 3, if you've been watching my recent IDW Sonic videos, I pretty much gave the reveal away. I'll get more into Mimic in the next section. Trust seems to be an important theme in this issue, and we see both the good and bad sides of it. The good side occurs throughout the Knuckles-Amy plot. Amy trusts Knuckles' knowledge of Angel Island to get them to their destination safely, and Knuckles trusts Amy to follow her lead as they put the relic back where it belongs. Now recall the conversation the two had about Knuckles only trusting 6 people, including Amy? Makes you wonder who the other 5 are. Ruling out the obvious villains and Rouge the Bat, some possible candidates might include Blaze, the Chaotix, 2/3 of them, Tails, and maybe Sonic, maybe not? Honestly, this is something that can be debated for hours, and I don't have the time today. Let me know in the comments section below on who you think Knuckles trusts the most. The dynamic between Amy and Knuckles reminds me of the tail end of the Archie Sonic era. Long story short, during the lengthy adaptation of Sonic Unleashed, so long that it took up most of the reboot era, Knuckles had to shatter the Master Emerald to prevent a villain from stealing it. Angel Island would be safe thanks to the world being chunks of floating land masses. In his quest to gather the shards before the world is put back together, he runs into Sonic's crew, and Amy volunteers to help Knuckles thanks to a new skill she's picked up. Makes tracking the shards much easier. They would of course succeed after some hardship. I get that same team-up vibe in this story. Though given Ian Flynn wrote for this issue, and the Knuckles-Amy Master Emerald plot in the Archie series, I shouldn't be that surprised. Going back to this issue and the nature of trust, we see its darker nature, when one can be too trusting, and it could lead to a number of problems. Case in point, the new Diamond Cutters, Tangle especially, are willing to give Duo a chance and trust that he can meet their expectations, not knowing that it's actually Mimic. Granted, Mimic has taken a form that no one would recognize, at least not in the immediate area, and he's taken care of one of the big flaws when assuming other forms, covering his hands after changing so no one would recognize him via the sucker palms. The idea of an inside man is nothing new in fiction. In fact, this situation reminds me of X's scenario in Mega Man X4, spoilers for that game, when he teams up with a bumbling new member of the Maverick Hunters named Double. Only it turns out, he's an inside man for the main villain, complete with a more menacing form. Makes me wonder if X4 helped inspire the Duo subplot. Ian Flynn did research the Mega Man franchise when writing for Archie Mega Man. I missed that series. And there is a character named Duo in Mega Man 8, but the name in that context follows the series' musical naming motif. I believe Duo in this context is just something Mimic and or Clutch came up with to establish this second identity. If and when he's discovered, well, we can all guess Whisper's reaction. Tangle, though, would be hurt, given that she believes Duo is an adventurer like herself, and it wouldn't be the first time someone took advantage of Tangle's trusting nature. I'm looking at you, Rouge. And finally, Lanolin would probably have another breakdown like she did in Urban Warfare. Kletch has been busy ever since he declared that he was getting back in the game, establishing a cleanup service as a front to amass Eggman tech. The Sonic franchise is no stranger to shady business people. The Archie comics had two, Mammoth Mogul pre-reboot and Breezy the Hedgehog post-reboot. Why not have IDW have a crack at it? With this aggressive venture Kletch is planning, I have a feeling this is going to be our next major story arc. At least I hope so. Don't want this villain's plan to peter out all of a sudden. I keep saying, we need more threatening original villains in this comic. A few little things before I wrap this up. I like the little callbacks to previous issues. This includes some obvious ones like Knuckles finally apologizing for the stunt he pulled in issue 12, and then we have some subtle ones. When Tangle excitedly pulled up a chair for Duo here, the latter gets pretty nervous. While it could be Mimic's way of portraying Duo as a bit jittery, this could be a genuine reaction, as the last time Mimic encountered Tangle's tail, he was tossed around like a rag doll. If this was intended, then kudos to whoever was responsible, whether it be artist Thomas R. under Ian's direction, or Thomas taking initiative. Speaking of the art, I like how the dynamic of the new Diamond Cutters is being established with this bit of Lanolin not tolerating Tangle playing paddleball, and later removing the temptation altogether, without saying a single word about it. Just let the actions speak for themselves. Overall, I'm happy we're slowing things down. After a non-stop whirlwind of mad scientists and evil knockoffs, let us, and the characters, have this chance to breathe before the next big thing happens. Anyway, in the next issue, we'll see the new Diamond Cutters go through some training, but they'll be interrupted by a certain hedgehog from the future. That and more Blaze the Cat. I'll see you in issue 63. In hindsight, it was probably a good idea Rouge did not show up in this issue. She might have tailed Knuckles and discovered the second relic. For all we know, she's probably in the top 5 of Knuckles' most untrustworthy people list.